Well, howdy there, folks. James, politicalfriar.com, coming to you again. I wanted to check in now that we've had a few days to read some tea leaves with Speaker Johnson and what I think he might be thinking and what he appears to be doing. And it's hard. It's hard to tell. This guy doesn't have much of a record, and that was a plus. It's one of the reasons why he became the Speaker of the House, is because nobody really knows much about him. Susan Collins said that she would have to Google him to figure out what he was all about. But we've had a couple days, and so I thought I'd come on here and give you an update about what I think he might be doing, with the caveat that I might be completely wrong. This is, like I said, reading tea leaves. But here's some things we know about Speaker Johnson. He is a right wing Christian conservative in the classical mode, and that is familiar. It's frankly not all that scary. I mean, it's objectionable in some ways. It's certainly unpopular if you are thinking about the entirety of the American populace, but it's not necessarily scary. This is an animal that we've seen and we know is not going to destroy things. It's not chaotic. It's not breaking of institutions, and it's not undemocratic. Some of those things that I worry about with the hard right really aren't right wing Christian conservatives. Right wing Christian conservatives have principles, and they want the best for the country, and they want the institutions to continue, and they want to have their policies enacted, but they're unpopular, and so they won't get them. The reality is, his ideas around abortion and gay rights and those social conservative things will never happen because there are no majorities for them. The only way they could happen is if the institutions broke, and it doesn't seem like he's interested in breaking institutions. He says, listen, we need to fight the Democrats on policy. That's a quote that came out of a call that he had with the Republican conference. And you know what? That's what the Republicans are supposed to do. That's actually conventional and good. The worrisome Republicans were the ones who were fighting Republicans on politics. I sat through a 1 hour interview with Speaker Johnson conducted by Sean Hannity, and I came away less freaked out. Listen, he's a Republican. He is what you think he is. There's no surprises there, but he seemed conventional. He didn't seem like the type of chaos that you got from an anti institutionalist like Jim Jordan might have been. It struck me during that interview that they didn't talk about Donald Trump. He didn't come up. They didn't talk about the 2020 election. It didn't come up. And I suspect that it didn't come up because Sean Hannity didn't want to nail Speaker Johnson down on either side of that. Because there's a reality. The reality is Trump lost the 2020 election, and there's a political reality that Speaker Johnson can't say that. And so Sean didn't make him. That's good. That actually says that maybe you've got a thinking independent mind as the third in line to the presidency right now. And that, frankly, is reassuring. I am more than happy to disagree with people on policy. It's the politics and the following damage to the institutions and the coming harm that we might see to our country that really scares me. So this is bad for Trump. I've said repeatedly on this platform that Trump benefits from chaos. Any kind of disruption, any kind of harm that Trump can stir up is good for him because he is the hero. He is the hero who will rescue us from our ills. And if you have somebody who is stable and willing to govern and interested in policy as the Speaker of the House, that's not going to help Donald Trump. Donald Trump needs somebody who is broken, who is raving, who is attacking fellow Republicans so that he can have a problem to solve. Speaker Johnson maybe isn't a problem. He can be disagreeable, but he isn't necessarily the type of political animal that I am afraid of. Now, on to his policies that do matter. The only thing that he's actually forwarded is $14 billion for Israel, and that is a standalone uh, policy, and one that probably everybody would vote for. The thing that is interesting on that is that there are some things that are missing. Aid for Ukraine, actually, money for the border. Neither of those came through Speaker Johnson's proposal, and both of them were included in President Biden's. So I don't know whether Speaker Johnson is the kind of isolationist that would imperil American interests abroad and eventually American interests at home. But we'll see. I mean, this is also possibly a bargaining position. That Speaker Johnson doesn't seem to be willing to confront Russia and provide for Ukraine is truly worrisome. But it's worrisome in a more conventional way than some of the most extreme hard right anti-institutionalists, burn it all down, legislative arsonists were. So this is all to say this video. I'm cautiously optimistic. We have to help Ukraine fight Russia. That is just a good idea on every level. It's a no-brainer. We'll do another video on why that makes sense soon, but it's just not close. We should be helping Israel, and we should be working on fixing the chaos at the border. It's not impossible that Speaker Johnson will be helpful on these things. Now, I'm real glad he's Speaker of the House and not governor of my state. See, governors can do all kinds of monkey business and domestic policies that I am much more afraid of. I have a friend whose son is transgender, and if Mike Johnson was the governor of my state, I'd be anxious. But he's not. He's Speaker of the House. He's not going to get his far right Christian values to have any effect on government. He doesn't have majorities for it. So let's see what he does with the stuff that he can influence. And that's fiscal policy, foreign policy. For now, I'm happy to say that the jury is still out. It didn't have to be. It could be worse. Anyway, it's just my thought. Let me know how wrong I am in the comments down below. Make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification button so that you don't miss a video, and I really appreciate it. Thanks.